So we'll start like we always do with a little bit of meditation, but today we'll just do very brief, not as much breathe. Sometimes we focus on the breath to start. But what I'd like to do today mainly for the beginning meditation is actually to go through a contemplation based on what we covered last time. So start off by, sit comfortably. With your back straight. Actually, in the How to Meditate class, we'll go over meditation posture, so that's coming up. But for now, just kind of sit comfortably. But we will start just briefly, so we'll bring our attention to our breath. It's just to settle our minds. So as you breathe in, notice the present moment, physical sensations of the breath. As you breathe out, and bring your awareness into the present moment, noticing the physical sensations of the breath. We're bringing our attention to the breath. If other thoughts or feelings arise, we notice them and bring our attention back to the breath. Staying in this meditative mode, I'm just going to do a little bit of a contemplative meditation. And so for this particular contemplation, first step is bring to mind just one example from your own experience of something that you very much have wanted at some point recently, have like craved after or desired or wanted. And again, just for this one, you have to have just one example. So it could be a certain kind of relationship with someone else, whether emotionally or physically. Could be some sensory object like food. Could be something that you were hoping to achieve at work. Something you craved after or desired. And again, you have to kind of settle your mind on just one. So now, having chosen this one example, without judgment, the idea here is that we're just going to analyze, you're going to analyze your own experience through reason, through memory, through analysis. The first step, right, is we start at the beginning. The first step is we analyze what it's like to crave something. So initially there's this feeling, right, of craving in your own experience. And try to bring your mind back. So when I first started thinking, oh, I want that. That's what I want. And you check in your own experience, was there some feeling, oh, that'll make me happy. I want that, it'll make me happy. If I achieve that, then some kind of happiness. And again, I'm just going to speak a bit, but you use your own, you can vary from this, use your own experience, use your own analysis, but I'm going to give examples. And then you apply it how you wish to whichever craving you're analyzing. But there are a number of things we can check. One is, at that moment of initial craving, how realistic was my view, both of the object and of how happy I'd be? Was there some exaggeration or not? Also, that process itself, right, of wanting and not having something. You check your own experience in your heart. When you have that kind of experience, is there some sense of deficiency in yourself, of insecurity, of dissatisfaction? Of a kind of subtle agitation in your mind, or not? So is that early experience of wanting something and not having it, isn't it true by definition that's not a satisfactory, right? You're not satisfied. So it's not a satisfactory or content feeling. instead there's some kind of subtle view in the mind. I'm dissatisfied now, but when I achieve that, then I'll be satisfied. I'm not quite content or happy now, but when I achieve that, then I'll be happy. That's what's in the mind in some sense, right? When you're craving for something you don't yet have. And then there may be all, this is again, you have to check your own experience depending on what the object is and who you are. There can be fear. Oh, maybe I won't get it. There can be anxiety. There can be like strong craving or extreme longing, right? Where that sense of dissatisfaction gets even more intense. If somebody else happened to block you from getting that, then there may have been anger, or even hatred. If somebody else tries to stop you from getting it. For some people, there's also like anger at themselves, either for not getting it or for wanting it and not having it. So you check your own experience. But in general, if you analyze it, what you'll find is that early process, right, of wanting and not having is not very pleasant. We don't usually pause to analyze it. But if you do pause and really look at your own experience, right, in your heart, there are those kind of feelings, right, of dissatisfaction, discontent, longing, agitation. And also, if you check, usually there's some kind of projecting onto the object. A story, right, oh, it's so wonderful. If I have that, then things will be better. Whether it's a big thing like a relationship or just a small thing, like a meal or something. Still in that moment, you have to analyze your own mind and see if your mind didn't make up some kind of story like that. So then until you achieve it, there's some dissatisfaction going on. Then you can kind of analyze your process, right, of trying to get the object, or the thing, or the experience. Right? And again, depending on what it is, right, you check for yourself, right? Is that process entirely pleasant? Again, depending on what the object is, right? First of all, there's hardship or effort involved. Again, insecurity. Process of trying to get what you don't have. Again, if you analyze honestly, you'll find for sure that's not entirely pleasant. And then, of course, there are two possibilities, right, next. One is that you never achieved, you never got the object. If that's the case, then of course it was disappointment, frustration, or sadness. That's obvious. But then, what's actually, for this contemplation, what's actually more important is let's go through a careful, just kind of a slow analysis of what happens in your experience when you do achieve the object. So you wanted something, and then there comes a moment where you feel, now I have it. So at first, you watch it, analyze your own experience, analyze your own mind. For sure, there's a moment where you think, oh, now I have it, and if that happens, then you think, oh, good, or oh, I'm happy, or oh, that's excellent. But then just take a few minutes to actually analyze your experience, right? So then what happened for you? did you achieve some kind of pure, stable joy, contentment, bliss? Or did something else happen? And so really try to take a few moments to analyze very carefully, both on a physical level, what happened for you, on an emotional level, in terms of your thinking, how you thought about and felt about the object or the thing that you had wanted. Did your view that you had initially when you first developed craving, did that hold up? Or did your view of the object subtly or obviously change? While you were, just after you had achieved that object, first of all, were there other things that then you were wanting? So that you were then dissatisfied about something else? Were you 100% satisfied by the experience, or was there some disappointment? Did having that lead to some next insecurity, or some next wanting? While you were having that object, were there still like some physical suffering, some emotional suffering that were happening in your experience? So the idea here is you're just actually trying to analyze your own process, right? like looking at your own mind, like a scientist looks at something. So you're trying to look at your own experience with some objectivity. So when I follow craving, what happens? Then, like when you achieved that object, did some further craving arise for more of that object, or for some other object, or for some similar object, or for a different object? Because it didn't bring anything lasting for you. Just take a couple more minutes to just, in your own experience, look at, kind of stepping back, your whole process around desiring that object. From the very beginning, both analyzing how it felt, like how, all those things, right? And also the projecting. Were you exaggerating or not? Was the process of wanting and not having totally satisfying? Was the process of seeking before you had totally satisfying? If you didn't achieve it, how was that? If you did achieve it, how long and how deep was the actual satisfaction or joy? And what was the end result for you, going forward? come out of that meditative mode into a more interactive